global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello beautiful people, welcome back to our channel. Right now as we speak, there seems to be uproar in River State where the camp of Wike and even the camp of Fubara seem to be countering the information. Now the question you're going to find out in a moment, why are they countering one another and what is the real deal, what's going on here? Before we do that, kindly subscribe to our channel. My colleague is also in the house. We're going to look at this very critically. Now according to the news, there seems to have been rumbling in the Niger Delta Development Commission following the jostle for the position of the managing director currently occupied by Bayelsa-born Sam Ogboko. Now all was well with the agency as Ogboko and other supplanted directors were doing the biddings of the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Chief Ezinwo Nyesom Wike, who turned the agency to his cash cow, according to similarly Fubara'camp, until recently when Ogboko's tenure was coming to an end. Now Sam Ogboko, who was looking forward to Wike's reciprocal support to be reappointed as the managing director of the agency, recently found out that the minister was instead clandestinely rooting for another candidate from Delta State as it becomes the turn of Delta to produce the next helmsman for the commission. Armed with this information of the plot to truncate his ambition to return to the commission as managing director, Sam Ogboko has strategically maneuvered his way into the high powers in Aso Rock, where he is fighting all by himself to retain his position as the managing director of the agency. Now, these moves have already created a crack in the once coordinated team used by the FCT minister to drain the agency in doing his biddings, including paying the 27 defected lawmakers loyal to him in River State, according to similarly Campo. Now, part of the fallout of this rumbling is the non-payment of casual staff of the agency in the past 1 month, which is breeding some uncomfortable grumblings amongst personnel of the agency. Other feathers being ruffled, reporter length include the seizure of Hollings Event Center, sharing boundary with the agency, which was said to be owned by one of Wike's ally, Alabo George Kelly. Now the center, as learned, was acquired by Kelly while serving as principal manager, infrastructure NDDC on behalf of the agency, but covetously converted the facility to personal use. The seizure has indeed brought a full-blown conflict between Ogboko and Wike, as he is deliberately starving Wike's men in the agency of funds, including Boma Iyaye, who has been accused in one hand by the Wike camp of abandoning their cause. Boma, it was learned, is angry that he could not facilitate the employment of his own people in the agency, as only the minister of FCT is fixing people from his own area, especially in the last employment done. As it is right now, Boma Yaya has lost the power to influence any employment of his aides and others from his constituency. Currently, the rumbling is taking its heavy toll on the agency as no meaningful activity is ongoing due to the division and a very short pursuit of the leaders. That's this Niger Delta Development Commission. This is coming from Fubara'camp, literally. Yeah, that's some quick view and all that. But of course, Wike's camp is not having it, and they have also, countered this claim. They have debunked it, saying that their camp is intact, there's no rumbling anywhere, they are one united for no fighting, no infighting anywhere, that whatever it is that Fubara'camp is saying is all but wash, all a lie, it's not founded. But I believe time will tell. My colleague is in the house. What's your take on this latest development? One is saying this is what is happening, the other camp is saying that's not true. But one may wonder, where are the 27 lawmakers getting the necessary fundings really to keep hope alive and still keep together and still do plenaries, hold plenaries, even though they've not been paid salaries, and they're still, looking very fresh, I must say. What's your take, please?
Well, in respect to these, Wike has not said anything, and also the NDDC the managing director has not said anything. But from some of the feelers we have heard, some believe that, unfortunately, that he had allowed Wike to overpower him and also to regulate things, not knowing that Wike is a man that if he gives you something one hand, you must pay very well, because his intention is to make sure he controls the affairs and run the show the way he wants to run it. You understand? But Wike's camp are also saying that there's no such thing.
Yes.
That they are just trying to, Fubara's team, media team is trying to roll out a lot of things just to paint Wike in a bad light and all of that. But be that as it may, it's important for us to know and accept this reality that, number one, NDDC is not only meant for Rivers State, neither is it meant for Delta State, neither is it meant for the Ijaw Nation or anybody. NDDC is for all the Niger Delta State. Imo State is there, Bayelsa is there, Rivers State is there, Akwa Ibom is there, and I think Edo also, with other states that are all part of them. So there should be an equitable distribution of employment to all the affected states. It shouldn't just be something that is controlled by one person, and it should be in a document.
But that's what
policy document.
But that's what they're saying. That, sorry to cut you short. That it was actually, this is the turn of Delta State.
Yes.
The last one that Wike's ally occupied was the turn of Rivers. Now it's the turn of Delta State, and he was hoping that since he has been doing according to Fubara's team, being that he was doing the bidding of the FCT minister, and then by all means,
hoping that he will
just make case of reappointment, being that he's also the FCT minister closer to power. But Wike here is one person that I give it to him on that one. Inyendeba has been his policy. If it's the turn of Delta State, then he will just look for someone who is, so that way everyone has a full taste.
Yeah, we accept that. But, the beauty of leadership is you giving the person a free hand to operate. It should not always be the voice of Jacob and the hands of Esau. The hands of Esau, the voice of Jacob. It's absolutely wrong. Trying to be behind the curtain to remote control the affairs of the entire country. It's totally, because everything will be running according to your dictates. And unfortunately, your dictate may be a very greedy one, maybe a very autonomous one, which is not good for the people. Very autocratic. So I think that one of the things that even the likes of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and also the affected state should try to play out is to ensure that no matter what happens, my people must have their own quota in NDDC as NDDC as when expected. As far as employment is carried out, if a certain percent goes to all the states involved, let it be so that Nigeria can run the way it should be. But one person making sure that he feels everybody there, so that at the end of the day, when the set time comes, you can't move anyhow because he's the one controlling. It's totally wrong. And I'm so much pity if Boma had allowed that to happen. So much pity on him, because unfortunately, you don't know that Wike is a very smart dude, and being a very smart person in business, he wants to make sure that everyone who have opportunity to test that seat must be en route him. And I think that that's where the frustration is always coming from.
But let's tell ourselves the truth. If not for the same Wike, we don't have to stay in the DC too. Because sometimes it's actually by his influence.
When you go that way, it seems as though Wike has exclusive right to these things. Wike does not have exclusive right, for God's sake. NDDC had been in existence before Wike even think of. He wasn't part of the team in the Senate that propagated for that. We shouldn't make it look as though because he's been able to play his way around and get those things under his control, he has a legitimate right over. No, obviously no. So try bringing anybody in there. If the president decides to respect you and make you someone who can affect appointment, it doesn't mean that it's your exclusive right. It's not your right. Anybody who is sound enough and who is qualified enough should be, that is the ideal situation in any place. But unfortunately, we find ourselves where politicians seem to dictate virtually everything that is happening. You must show them total obedience before they allow you to go in there and sign some certain things which will not be at the end of the day favorable to your own people. And look at now, based on what we are hearing, the Ijaw people are getting angry. That ever since he went in there, there's no tangible improvement and all of that. Though all of that is still in grapevine, we are yet to hear from Wike's camp. We are also yet to hear from Buma, the former the MD of NDDC. But we are hopeful very soon that they will speak out to clear the air on this.
All right, that's going to wrap it up. But the question now is Nigeria having the ideal situation that my colleague is mentioning? Let's interact in our comment section. Let's brace.